thank Peter Lyons for going to support him and giving him advice. And Peter's with us again today. So just tell us about that, Peter, how all that came about.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Yeah, James, he just rang me after the first Q school and he said he was struggling. He just wanted, I think, someone to travel with, a bit of advice here and there, and, you know, I was happy to do it. It was nice to see a young, talented player hopefully now get the chance to fulfill his potential.
I think it was a surprise to many that he dropped off. Of course, I think everyone remembers that big win over Ronnie O'Sullivan at the World Championship 2019. He's doing it sort of day in, day out, though, isn't it? He seems to do well against the top players. He seems to enjoy playing them, but it's all the rest of it as well, finding a consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's, I think he'll be the first to say, James, as well, he's not probably taken his practice as serious as he should have done over the years, but it's not too late for him. He's a very talented player. And he can be his own worst enemy at times, you know, he gets a little bit down on himself. Thinks that everyone's got to play like Ronnie O'Sullivan, you've got to play flawless snooker all the time, and you know, it's a difficult game. That's not always possible. Sometimes you just got to get the win. Try and live to fight another day.
Season he beat O'Sullivan at the UK Championship. Prior to that, he beat Mark Selby 6-3. It's one each on the head-to-head between them, but it's a big tournament to beat Selby in. Yeah, Selby coming back to action. He's not really practiced, he said, since the World Championship, so
7.
See how he gets on here. Starting the season 3rd in the rankings.
Mark Selby.
Yeah, of course,
7.
He had his problems last season away from the table, and he didn't win any tournaments, but he's been working on those, and you get the feeling as the season goes on we'll be seeing plenty of him.
Well, let's hope so. I think what snooker desperately needs is, it desperately needs a fully fit Mark Selby. You know, he's a fantastic player, fantastic ambassador, a great bloke, and I think that's what everyone wants to see. They want to see Mark Selby at the top of his game, playing Judd Trump at the top of his game, Ronnie O'Sullivan, Neil Robertson, and so on and so on. So let's hope he's put them behind him.
Thank you.
Yes, and to give him his full title, of course, it's Mark Selby MBE, because he and Judd Trump have received MBEs in the Queen's Platinum Birthday Honours List for their snooker achievements and indeed their work off the table for charity. So congratulations to him.
We haven't received ours yet, Dave.
6.
Well, by the end of the Championship League, I think we deserve something, but so in a few weeks maybe.
Seven.
Wants to get down for that red just above the black if he can. Just overrun us slightly, but
11.
played that pretty well.
12.
Has he screwed back far enough for the pink? It looks like he has. Looks to be playing a little quicker as well
80.
this morning, does Mark? Sometimes can get bogged down with his own game, but I always feel like he plays better when he plays that little bit quicker, like most players do.
19.
Yeah, I think it's important for him to start enjoying it again. You know, snooker's been his whole life, and last season he had reasons to take a break and concentrate on things off table, but it'd be great to see him, as you said, getting back to full fitness again on the table.
And I think that goes for every player. You know, I think, you know, we all start playing this game
24.
basically for the love of the sport. You know, we just love getting the cue out, love potting balls, love playing snooker. You know, yes, you're doing it for your living now, but it's still got to be fun.
25.
Well, we saw that with Ronnie O'Sullivan on Monday. I mean, he didn't have to come here, did he? He doesn't need the £3,000 he ultimately won, but he wanted to play snooker for a day, and that's what he did.
He's looking a fairly ominous start here. The red's nicely spread already.
32. 33.
May play cannon into the rest of the reds here, open them all up. Doesn't really need to, but
$40. Yeah.
it's landed a little bit awkward. Yeah, I think he'd love to get the pink out of the way and back on its spot. That will free the other red up, which will in turn will free another red up in that little cluster of 4.
Thank you. 41.
Yeah, just over screwed for the pink, so probably going to opt for the blue. Leave himself slightly further away from his next red. Already 53 points in front.
46.
And may well play back out for the pink this time.
$47.
Yeah, that's why he's probably better playing for the pink. Now he's landed a little bit straight. He's a little bit awkward because all those reds are open. Nothing's really easy. Overscrewed that slightly. To take this into the yellow
54.
ball pocket.
Mark Selby.
So the break has ended
54.
and there's still enough on. 61 the lead, 75 on.
Yeah, James just having a look to see if he can have a little go at this red into the yellow pocket. Very difficult shot, but can probably only leave the red he's playing. Will be nicely on the blue if he does get it. Tough shot though. Possibly the same principle for Mark Selby now. He could have a go at this red and only leave the one he's playing if he wants. Opting for safety though.
I mean, Selby, he lives so close he can actually go home before his next match is at 5 o'clock our time. A handy tournament to warm up for the new season. So that changes things. So now all the reds are in play, which obviously is what Cahill needs.
Yeah, that's a very good shot. He may have even forced Mark Selby's hand to have to play the red on the side cushion, which is the one he doesn't want to play. He's got no choice. That's a superb shot from James Cahill. I think we'll probably see James play the red across from the green and get it out in the open. A little bit risky to play the red near the black, although that's the one he's lining up. I think he'd be better getting the other red out in the open and giving the clearance a chance if he gets a shot at it.
I was a little fortunate that the cue ball finished on the side cushion after the double kiss, but it could still be frame over. This goes in. Made it a bit more difficult.
Now he's giving himself a chance. The pot's okay, but where the white's running, it looks like it's running into the black. I think that's what he's worried about. Don't want to knock it safe and not be on a colour.
Yes, you can see he knew immediately he missed it.
Well,
So Mark Selby needs the pink to lead by 68 with 67 on. Not been a clean frame, but he did make the 54, which was a good contribution. It's his first frame since he lost to Yan Bingtao at the Crucible at the end of April. So don't expect it to be flawless, but what you do expect always with Selby, he's going to give it 100%. And James Cahill,
7.
once he got the reds open, may have felt he had a chance to get back into it, but that's not happened. So it's going to be 1-0 to the 4 times world champ.
8.
In the match with Yan Bingtao, had the longest ever frame at the Crucible, 85 minutes, which Yan won. It was just extraordinary frame. Mark Selby at one point potted about 6 or 7 reds without any colours, just all nip and tuck.
13.
That's also the match at the Pigeon that got into the arena and landed
14.
on the table.
$19. 20.
A lot of people inside and outside the sport appreciated Mark Selby speaking out last season and saying that, you know, he needed some help, and that's what he went and got, and good for him. And hopefully this season we'll see the best of him again on the table.
Yeah, here. And for anybody that's out there that is feeling like that, don't be afraid to ask for help.
29. 30.
He's definitely speeded up though, this
35.
frame. Don't know if this is going to be a conscious effort this season,
37.
or if he's just trying to play today with a relaxed attitude, knowing he's not been putting his usual hours in. A very dedicated player, Mark, normally.
40.
Yeah, I think it's twofold. One, he wanted a break, but also, obviously, even this event, you know, if he wins the group today, it's actually a couple of weeks till he plays again. So, going to wait until there's a run of tournaments to really start
44.
putting the quality practice in, and that's, of course, going to be towards the September time when we start to have tournaments more regularly. Anyway, he's looked pretty good, considering this is frame
49.
1. He's won it without Cahill potting a ball. Made 2 half centuries.
55.
54 and 55. Mark Selby
Mark Selby.
gets his account underway. He leads James Cahill 1-0.
The Kazoo champion of champions.
He looked like he had it won. He looked like he lost it.
You can't say that's the killer blow. Well, you can say it was a hammer blow.
Two devastating breaks. He's on the brink.
101 for O'Sullivan. He's got a frame on the board. He looked mighty good in doing it.
What a way to open your account for the season. I get the feeling it will not be his last trophy this campaign.
We're underway on what is day 8 of a total of 21 here at the Championship League. This is the last day of this week's action, and Mark Selby's entered the fray, and he's dominated the first frame against James Cahill. Breaks of 54 and 55.
Thank you. Frame 2. Mark Selby to
The
break.
other players in the group, Ben Wollaston and Jian Kang. And on table 2, Andrew Higginson, who was a late call-up, actually, late replacement. He's won the first frame against Joe Perry, who is the top seed there.
One.
Good pot, confidently played. Knew he was kissing into the pack. Looked like to have got top side. Yeah, Mark Selby there. I think Mark will be looking to make a big impact this season. He won't have liked, although it was for personal reasons, he won't have liked missing out on some of those tournaments last year, some of the big tournaments. Tour Championship and the Grand Prix, I think. Did he miss out on both those two?
Certainly the Tour and I think the Players' Championship as well.
Yeah, so winning this tournament could secure those for some player.
6.
He's also on the one-year list. He's actually 22nd, Selby, starting the season. So just a reflection, he didn't play in all the tournaments last season. Of course, if you have a deep run in an event, you can quickly climb the rankings again.
James deciding to attack here. A terrific rest shot.
Thank you. 7.
And knocking the red over the corner pocket makes position a lot easier. Black's in the open, so if you can just play one good shot here. That's very nicely played.
12. Thank you.
Of course, getting back on
13.
through the Q School, it means he's got a 2-year card guaranteed, so there's no looking over the shoulder for him at rankings. He can just focus on trying to bet himself in, and he's very dangerous. I think everyone agrees with that. He's not sort of player you rub your hands together when you draw him, because he's got that confidence and seems to enjoy the bigger occasions, most notably, of course, at the Crucible. Should be remembered, he very nearly beat Steve Maguire in the second round. Everyone remembers the O'Sullivan win, but that went to a decider with Maguire. So he's just a frame from
20.
reaching the quarterfinals, effectively playing under amateur status. He wasn't even a professional at that point, although he had been previously.
Yeah, the 2-year tour card now allows him to really focus, not get a plan of attack together for the next 2 years.
21.
Whereas when you're playing as a top-up or an amateur, kind of in limbo a little bit. Should I be full-time? Should I be working? What should I be doing? Whereas now he can concentrate all his efforts on becoming a higher-ranked professional. That's another nice shot. In prime position
28.
here.
$29.
Yeah, I found when I was working with James at Q School, the more
36.
important the matches became, the better he seemed to play. He seems to be able to raise that level up. Which is a good asset to have.
$37.
Yeah, always a good sign when the player gets straight down to take the shot that they're in prime position. So it's a good response so far to losing the first frame without putting a ball.
42.
Yeah, like I say, he has at least had those matches. I mean, 3 Q School events he played in, so a lot of significant matches under his belt in the last couple of months.
43.
Okay, it's been a few weeks since Q School, but even so, he played more than Selby in that time.
Sneaked in off the near jaw as he screwed back far enough to play this red.
49.
Looks like he has, because he's looking at the black, so.
$50.
I'm not sure which one of these reds go. Possibly the one to the extreme left of the 4 from the pink, or. Now, does that pass?
$57.
He probably is going to have to play one more cannon.
$58.
And he does look like he's come a little bit straight on the black.
Yeah, he's just trying to work it out, as you say, one more red you're going to need here. And he knows, everyone knows, there's probably no one better, maybe other than John Higgins, than Mark Selby, clearing up from this sort of position. The chance comes.
$65.
Yes, sir. Ricky red into the green pocket or the yellow pocket. Maybe able to just screw back on and off the cushion for the black and not really leave anything, take a little bit of pressure off it, but
James Cahill, 65.
Well, good 65, but there is still enough on.
yeah, now is Mark just looking to possibly clip this red into the yellow pocket and flick it round the angles back for the black and not really leave anything. Difficult shot. Oh, didn't mean to go anywhere near that corner pocket, but you won't be disappointed with that outcome. James got to be very careful. Can't afford to push one over the corner pocket. Yeah, excellent shot. Yeah, it's the second frame of the day and these already seem like key moments. James cannot afford to let this frame slip away. He's got to knock this long red in. Yeah, beautiful shot.
Yes, that's got to make him feel good, hasn't it?
One.
Just this blue. And Selby needs a snooker, but struck this so well.
Yeah, absolutely, David. Didn't overhit it. Just confidently struck it in.
$6.
Table again looks like it's running tremendous. This is all the rage these days, David. Flick to the left hand, no problem.
Well, a slight problem. He didn't pot it, so
James
Selby's
Cahill,
going to carry on
6.
here because 71 in it, 67 on.
Yeah, and that is a bit slack. Put yourself through another 10 or 15 minutes of pain and possibly not even win the frame.
Well, exactly, because you can clear reds here, so you can get rid of 4 of the 5 reds, and then, you know, it could be potentially a nasty snooker.
Yeah, and then the free ball comes into play. Yeah, he should have taken a little bit more care with that. That is for sure. And like you said earlier, this is the one man you don't want coming back at you.
Yeah,
8.
this is where Selby sort of comes alive, sensing a chance to land a big blow psychologically.
9.
Yeah, you just get the feeling that Mark Selby loves this kind of situation. Yeah, that is something that you can't afford to do there. Make sure you pot that red. You get a nice quick kill.
16.
Set him up for the next frame. Now you're sat in your seat squirming away, knowing you're almost guaranteed to be snookered the next time you come to the table. Because Selby be looking to get that white right behind the black in 2 or 3 shots time. Send the red round the table, somewhere near the brown spot. The free ball comes into play. And
24.
even though your opponent needs a snooker to tie, you're possibly second favourite.
$25.
Right, here we go. This is all about where Mark can leave the red. He gets it near the yellow or brown. I think James Cahill's in a bit of trouble.
Mark Selby, 32.
Yeah, there's enough room round it.
Probably won't be a free ball, but if it is a foul, then Selby can tie.
Yeah, and he'll probably try and play off 2 cushions to leave the white somewhere on the baulk cushion if he does miss it. However, realistically, James has to hit this because he'll probably just find himself snookered again anyway. Can't afford to slip round the back of this, I don't think. And that's exactly what he's done.
Foul. Mark Selby, 4.
It kind of felt like we would get here actually when he missed that red initially. So 35 in it, 35 on. The frame's anyone's.
And I actually think now this is the key shot, because if Selby gets Cahill snookered again this time, he definitely becomes favourite, because he can't afford to miss it. He can have it back. If he leaves a free ball, he leaves the red. This could be a disaster for James, all because he was a little bit casual with that left-handed shot. He'll be desperate to hope this white doesn't end up in behind the black. But that's where it's going.
Cheers, James.
Selby loves it, doesn't he?
This is what he's been missing all these months.
Yeah, he's got to just go the right-hand side cushion, I think, and trust the angle and go full-blooded. If he misses this, he's probably lost the frame.
Foul and a miss. Mark Selby, 4.
Well, as well now, only 31 in it. Mark can play anything above the brown. Fear the worst, I'm afraid.
something flying around, I think.
At least it wasn't that pigeon back.
I think the pigeon had enough of snooker that day. Wow. Well, he'd done all the hard work. He's slightly put off by whatever that was, but also maybe just general rustiness, but you still fancied him for this.
Well, what a reprieve. I would have bet my life that was game over.
Cahill will be so relieved if this red goes in. Because he very nearly was the architect of his own downfall there. But Mark Selby, unusually, having got the snooker, got the chance, didn't take it.
Six.
Seems a long time since Cahill's 65 break, doesn't it?
Six
But
and a
anyway,
frame.
he has won the frame. He'll be very, very relieved. We're level at 1-1. So an eventful start, and Mark Selby was looking good there to lead 2-0. He'd got the snooker, he'd got a great chance to clear up, but missed the red, the last red, and James Cahill was very relieved to pot it. So it is one each. He didn't exactly look delighted, did he? As he sort of putting the balls on the table at the end there, just relieved because he very nearly thrown the frame away. But it is 1-1, and this is frame 3, and of course it means you're guaranteed all 4 frames. So this could yet be a draw. Either player could yet win it. It's 1 each, by the way, on table 2. Joe Perry has levelled up with Andrew Higginson. I think Cahill fully expected Mark Selby after the in-off to make that clearance, but not to be.
That's a fairly positive shot from James, taking the chance to free the black. Now we may well see Mark though get him in a bit of trouble if he can play off the reds off the side cushion. That's somewhere in behind the yellow. If you can get this tight on the cushion. Short of pace. Oh, is he having a go at this and screwing back, or just into the pack? Yeah, very attacking. A little bit of trouble here. Could possibly try and play the cross double off this red on the left hand side cushion, but he's got to catch this very well if he's playing it. He decided on the containing safety shot just to sort of buy himself one more shot. James get thin enough off this red to get the white on the tight on the baulk cushion. The opportunity to free the black again. James got to be careful if he's going to play safe. Can't afford to leave a shot of that red into the middle pocket. Oh, he's opted to play safe off that red.
Yeah, these are a big couple of frames. If Cahill can get something out of this match, even if it's only 1 point, of course he can still win it, but if he can get something out of what's on paper, his toughest match of the day, then of course he goes into the next two feeling confident that he can win this group for sure. We've seen in other groups where there's been early draws, it's been very tight. There was one group actually last week, I think it was on this day last week, Karen Wilson's group, where we had 5 draws from the 6 matches. And that was really nip and tuck. And in the end, Wilson missed out. Michael Judge was the winner because he won his match.
Yeah, he's been chopping and changing cues a bit recently, I believe, Kyron Wilson.
Yeah, I always wonder about that. I mean, players who've had success have done that, haven't they, almost immediately? And you think, well, you've just done pretty well in that tournament with that cue. Why are you sort of either changing it or making adjustments to it? But that's down, of course, to the individual players.
Yeah, not something I've ever understood. I've only ever had one cue. Yeah, like you say, when you see people win tournaments with one cue and then think, well, I'm not happy with it, it makes you wonder what they are striving for. Nice solid pot from Selby.
1.
Probably just tuck up behind the brown.
Mark Selby 1.
Yeah, nearly drifted off a fraction, but I think he has got the snooker. Just looking to see if he can go 2 cushions and land right on top of that red next to the black. Doesn't mind if he slightly misjudges it the first time and hits the black just so he can get his line.
Foul and a miss. Mark Selby 4.
Yeah, always better to err on the side of
Yeah.
caution first time. You don't want to hit it too hard. Better to hit it too soft. Would be able to make a slight adjustment.
Look about it, James. Yeah. Mark. Foul and a miss. Mark Selby 4.
Yeah, this is why the player and the referee got to pay attention to get it back in exactly the right place so that your slight adjustments can make the difference. Yeah, no damage done there. Looking to see if he can have a go at this red into the yellow pocket. Very difficult shot. Got to play it with pace to get out. Oh, lovely shot. And a little tap on the leg from James Cahill. He thought he'd left that relatively safe.
I think this is what Selby's so good at. You know, that last frame was in his hands and he didn't win it. And a lot of players, that would affect them, but he just seems to put what's happened in a match to one side and just focus on what's ahead of him.
5.
It's a tremendous asset to have. Like you say, there'll be lots of players out there that were just sat squirming away in their seat thinking should be 2-0 up. Whereas Mark's just thinking, well, never mind. I'll just win this frame.
Six. Nine. Ten.
Yeah, played on the pink there, but just coming back across the face of it. Knew the blue would be there if he didn't. Slightly trickier pot, but shouldn't be a problem. Again, just run away a fraction now. Queuing
50.
over the top of these reds has made this a missable shot. Nothing to do with the cue ball, I don't think, so can just concentrate on the pot, but it's definitely missable.
$16.
sure knows where the pink is going to go when he pots it. You'd love to get on the blue and get down on that red just above the black. Make this a proper frame winning chance.
Thank you. 22. Thank you. 23.
Looks just about perfect.
So far, typically gutsy break this, and again, the other great asset is his concentration. You know, just whenever he's playing a match, he just seems to be able to focus. You see him beforehand; it's all chatting and laughing and joking, but he gets out there, and then it's a different person. Well, he's won so
28.
many titles, because not every frame you win in a tournament is going to be a big break. There's some you really have to scrap out, and they, in the end, it can be the really important ones.
29.
When he won his first world title against Ronnie O'Sullivan 2014, because he had the long semi the night before against Neil Robertson, late finish, and obviously through to the world final is a big deal. Maybe he didn't sleep too well and was just holding on the first day, but then he did have a good night's sleep and fought back from 10-7 overnight. But he had been 10-5 down.
34.
Fought back and played much better on the last day. A lot of players would have just been heavily beaten, I think, in that match.
35.
Does this red pass the
40.
other red? Body language suggests it does. Just be careful. No problem.
41.
Yeah, 52 in front, should be a straightforward run to the line now.
43.
And you would never have known, would you, if you hadn't seen it, that he lost that frame the way he did, having earned the chance to win it. It's like it never happened.
44.
Yeah, a couple of tremendous pots. The first long red, snooker behind the brown, and then the brilliant long red into the yellow pocket have enabled this chance. And this now simple red is frame ball.
50.
Yeah, this is it's just classic Selby, really. No adverse reaction
51.
at all to failing to win that last frame. Just get on with the next one, play a good frame, which he has done, and it's given him a chance, of course, to win the match now. He needs the last frame for the 3 points.
Yeah, I think what a lot of people don't realise is how good a break builder Mark Selby is. You know, they know he's all grit and determination and never gives
57.
up. But a phenomenal break builder. He must be in the top so many centuries ever made.
Number 6 he is on that list with the 724.
58.
And yet it's strange that he's remembered for his grit and determination.
Yeah, and it's strange, actually. You could say the opposite about Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's thought of as a big break builder, which of course he is. He's top of the list. But he also can play the all-round game. We saw that at the Crucible. Like I say, not every frame is going to be a big break.
65.
It's having the application sometimes to roll your sleeves up and get stuck in.
Yeah, and I think that's one aspect of the game where Judd Trump has improved over the last couple of years to turn him into the winning
66.
machine he's become. He knew that you can't just make breaks, and you've got to have a good all-round game, good attitude. Top players are just so good, so blessed at the moment. The top 4, 5, 6,
73.
just phenomenal players.
Yes, at the very top of the game. There's very few weaknesses.
74.
You'd like a century, of course. Why not? First day of the season.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's absolutely relentless, his mark. Myself and Oliver went down to practice with him and Chris Wakelin, the club where they play, and
80.
he had 8 centuries in 16 frames, did Selby. It was getting boring.
81.
We've actually had 15 in the first 3 days this week. It's, again, the strength in depth, obviously you kind of expect it from Selby at the top, but we've had all sorts of players
86.
making these big breaks, and you know, we're still early season as well, which is just shows how strong the tour is now.
Yeah, we had 4
88.
sets. All I did was just field out for Mark Selby all day long, and then I said, all right, I'm going to go now. He says, no, come on, let's have one more set. I said, come on, Mark.
91.
52, I need a rest.
Yeah, you've done your steps for the day, walking around the table. Well, it's been a great break, this, and in particular because of what happened at the
95.
end of that last frame, it's like it never happened. So Mark Selby then, on his first day of the new season, needs this blue for century. Welcome back.
100.
Yeah, superb.
Very classy, well-controlled effort, this. And remember, high
106.
breaks, they can come into it if everything else is tied, so it could be a significant break, this, for Mark Selby. 113,
on the frame.
that's career century number
Mark Selby.
725 for the 4-times world champion. He leads 2-1. It's 2-1 to Mark Selby against James Cahill. And on table 2, Andrew Higginson now leads Joe Perry 2-1. Remember, these are 4-frame matches, so this is the last frame. If Selby wins it, he gets 3 points. If Cahill wins it,
frame
it's
4.
a point apiece. And
Mark
then the next
Selby
match,
to break.
Ben Wollaston, Jian Kang. I'm sure they'd like to see a draw, actually, because it kind of just blunts the chances of the two players here. Selby, we know, will be very determined to get the win. He's just made an excellent clearance of 113.
Yeah, James Cahill played 2 or 3 positive shots to free the black a couple of times, but which is definitely a step forward. But you do that, you've got to make sure you're the first person to pot a ball to get that chance. See if you don't, that's what happens.
There's table 2. Andrew Higginson fell off the tour at the end of the season. He didn't get through the Q-School. He's one of the players I'm sure a lot of people thought would get through. He's playing here as a late top-up player because I think it's Rebecca Kenner was due in this group. She wasn't able to play. But I'm sure Joe Perry won't be looking at Higginson as a top-up. I mean, he's a formidable player, actually. That's a tough opener for Joe.
Yeah, it's a shame for Rebecca Kenner, but good news for Higginson. I'm sure she was looking forward to making her pro debut.
It's a very tough group. Elliot Slesser and Lucas Kleckers are the other 2 players. So
6.
it's a very tough group to call, I think. Mark Selby's hoping that this one will be more straightforward. He's looking to win his first match here.
7.
Straight in with a few easy pots to start off with. Still a lot of work to do with the pack intact.
$12. 13.
One more open red and then it's going to have to be into the pack. Two or three options to split the reds up off after this red into the middle pocket. Could be the blue and into the pink, or down for a baulk colour. Off the side cushion into the reds, or maybe
20.
even, I think the pink did pot, so possibly an angle on the pink and just top spin straight through. Yes, so opting for the
21.
blue. Frame could end pretty quickly if this goes right. Now he hasn't caught them anywhere near where he wanted to, but I think he may be okay.
26.
I was hoping to catch the pink full ball, but I think the red that's gone to the right of the black. Can he see that?
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because sometimes
27.
you see a player, they'll catch the pink full on the nose and they don't land on one. There, he missed it, but he's still got on one, so he can continue.
Yeah, that just goes to show you can be as calculated as you like, but you do need a little bit of luck sometimes, and we have
34.
it there. Black open into both pockets. Quite a few reds in the open.
$35.
Yeah, in for the kill. And then he'll have, as I say, he can go home because he won't be playing again until 5 o'clock.
Yeah, if I know Mark, he'll be doing 4 hours on that practice table downstairs, David. He may stop for lunch.
$42.
Just run through the pack. The black again.
$43.
Probably take the red just below the black. Make sure he doesn't land dead straight on it.
$50.
Seems to to have got to 50 points fairly quickly yet again.
Yeah, his average shot time for the match
51.
just under 20 seconds. But when he's been in like this, I mean, part of that was the playing for the snooker and so on in frame 2. When he's been in the balls like this, he's not hung around at all, has he?
This cannon goes right. Which I don't think it has. Can he see the bottom red?
58.
He didn't want to catch that bottom red on the way past. He wanted to catch the one on the slightly to the right of it, and ended up catching them both. Well, a lifeline for Cahill. Not much of one because he's going to be tight on the baulk cushion this shot, but at least he's going to get another shot.
Mark
Yeah.
Selby.
Break ends at
58.
58. Selby having to wait for another chance. If he got on that red, I'm sure it would have been 3-1.
Now, will he be tempted by this long red? Right, I'll have a look and see if he can leave it somewhere and not leave anything apart from the one he's playing, but probably should just fully commit to this. These are shots that all pros practice. Long, dead straight shots. Oh, pick that out.
1.
Yeah, that's cued beautifully. I want it with the tuck up behind the brown. Was it even a question?
Mark Selby 1.
Did you have to ask? He's in control. 59 in front. And Cahill snookered. And he leaves anything on its frame, a match over, surely.
Yeah, because it's so close to the brown, I'm not sure he can play the 2 cushion, like, or flick off the reds and back down the table. May have to try and just nestle on the red on the right hand side cushion, but like you say, can't afford to nudge it into a potable position. And can't afford to miss it really either. Not very many points to play with. Could do with Stephen Maguire here for this one, I think. Just give him a whack.
Foul. And a miss. Mark Selby 4.
Yeah, that looks like a poor shot from James, but that's easily done when you're playing on these new cloths. You don't quite judge the slide and can miss a relatively straightforward shot by a foot. And now he's thinking, I'm just playing, hope I get lucky through the reds.
James. Yeah. Mark. Foul. And a miss. Mark Selby 4. Yeah.
Yeah, now 67 in it, 75 left, so Mark only needs 1 ball now.
James. Yeah. Mark.
Just while he plays this, I can tell you Joe Perry's drawn 2-2 with Andrew Higginson, so they've started with the draw next door.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be the last draw in that group. He's hit it the wrong side this time. Oh no. Well, he'll be happy with that. I think we'll probably see Selby just push it back to the rail and go down the table.
Yeah, Cahill kind of clinging on, but not down and out yet.
Now Mark may be having a look at a red into the middle pocket here. Players a shot to nothing, take the white behind the black. If he pots it, he knows he's won the frame.
1.
And there you go, that was the points from the foul. And he could just roll that in. Leave Cahill needing snooker.
Green ball.
Well, there was just that one slip up in frame 2, wasn't there? When, having got the snooker he needed, he eventually missed a red, attempting to make the clearance. Otherwise, for the first match of the season, bearing in mind he's not played since the end of April, I think he's been very impressive, Selby.
Yeah, 4 breaks over 15, including a ton.
So it's Cahill now who needs the snooker, of course. But when we say he needs a snooker that Mark Selby doesn't escape from. So how many will he have to lay to get to that position?
Yeah, he needs to pot a few balls first, I think. Because if there's not many snookers, Mark Selby's going to miss where there's 5 reds on the table, so he needs to get the next chance, pot 4 of these 5 reds, then chase his snooker on the last red. But he's got to first hope that Mark misses this pot if he's going for it.
And there's the concession. So Mark Selby has looked sharp as he starts the new campaign, and he's got what he wanted out of this match, which is victory. The highlight, of course, the 113 clearance in frame 3. Mark Selby beats James Cahill 3-1, and coming up next, it's Ben Wollaston against Zhang Jiankang.